Welcome to Brunch Break, episode 27. My name is Mrs. Chard, also known as Bethany. And on this free video series, I come here on the Chard page every Tuesday, except for this week, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time to share with you my tips and tricks of my 80-pound weight loss and how I transformed from a standard American diet to a whole food plant-based lifestyle, how I maintain this lifestyle, and I just come here and share ton of shit with you guys. So on this episode today, we're going to talk about what my diet or my nutrition, my lifestyle was like when we first moved to Chicago Chicagoland back in 2009, and then what my nutrition was like when we left Chicagoland in 2014 and what it looks like now. So Mr. Chard and I had a quick trip to Chicagoland this last week, which is why Brunch Break is on Thursday this week instead of Tuesday. But we took a really quick trip. My husband does consulting and moving and, clients from all over the country. And we got a job from here in Kansas City to Chicagoland. And so we were back in our old stomping grounds for a couple days. And it was so crazy to go back and to just kind of drive. I mean, we were right in the neighborhood and the area and everything where we lived for 5 years. And it was so crazy to drive by like all of these places that I used to get so much food and, go on late night runs to Taco Bell and like all these places. And it was just so crazy. My lifestyle has changed so much. And I kind of want to walk you through what it looked like on a daily basis, basically, when we first moved to Chicago and for those first couple years before I made my lifestyle change. So when we first moved there, we were super poor, didn't have a lot of money, but we somehow still had money for a ton of alcohol, a ton of cigarettes, a ton of fast food, a ton of, going out to restaurants and stuff. Even though we didn't have a lot of money, we somehow scraped together enough to get all of the things that we wanted at the time that were super, super unhealthful. So I've mentioned this on other brunch breaks too, but on our first date back in 2008, when we were both living in Nebraska, Mr. Chard and I went to Applebee's, and this is on our first date. It was like it wasn't really a blind date. I mean, we had met in passing before, but we hadn't seen each other in a couple years. And I ordered ribs on the first date. Like Mr. Chard likes to say, it was a full rack of ribs. However, it was just riblets. 2 orders of fries, a side of ranch dressing, and one of those like strawberry lemonade, I wasn't 21 at the time, so it was like a strawberry lemonade, like fake margarita or whatever. And so we went there on our first date when we first lived in Nebraska, and we drove by the Applebee's in Chicagoland, where we went on our 2nd anniversary and 3rd anniversary and 4th. Like, we always went back to Applebee's for every anniversary and like any like special occasion. We always went to Applebee's and just stuffed our faces with a bunch of just crap. Ginger turmeric tea, by the way. So we were always going out. We were always eating just awful food. I mean, I remember on my way to work, I worked retail, I worked insurance, and we owned a moving company too. Those were all the things that I career-wise did in Chicagoland. And I just remember driving to work and stopping at like multiple fast food places along the way, like two or three of them on the way to work. I would get like a frappe at McDonald's, and then I would get like a breakfast sandwich at Dunkin' Donuts. And then I just all the time, I was always going to fast food. And Mr. Chard and I were joking around too, because on the way back to Kansas City, we took a different way home. And it was similar to the road that we took from Chicagoland to back home in Nebraska. And we would stop at every single McDonald's from Chicagoland to Omaha, Nebraska. It's an 8-ish hour drive along the interstate. And we stopped at every single like truck stop that had a McDonald's or gas station that had a McDonald's. And we would get these like mocha choco latte frappes with like caramel and whipped cream and chocolate and like all this stuff, like at every single one. Like there's probably like 11, I don't know, maybe more. McDonald's from Chicagoland to Nebraska, to Omaha, Nebraska. We would stop at every single one and get one of these frappes. And they're like, I don't know. I'm going to have to look up the calories on them, and the sugar and like the milk and all kinds of stuff. Who knows? 1,200 calories a piece. I don't know, but we would get one at every single pit stop. And that was just our normal. I mean, aside from the frappes, we would get chicken nuggets, we would get, fries, we would get all kinds of stuff. And this was our nutrition. Like, we were feeding ourselves food that was not only detrimental to our health and increased risk of heart disease and strokes and, cancers and dementias and all this stuff, but we were feeding ourselves stuff that was just having us feel like shit all the time. And we really didn't realize how bad we felt until we weren't eating that stuff anymore. It's like bizarre. I thought I felt fine. I just thought I was, overweight and depressed and unhappy with my life. And when you take away all that stuff, it's crazy to see how your life can change. But anyway, so back to this past week, we were driving around Chicagoland and just looking at all these places. And on the way home from work, I would stop at this Taco Bell and get they had these cheese wrap, quesadilla fried, cheese. I don't even remember. I would just get tons of fast food all the time and French toast sticks on the way into work and just crazy. And so it was so insane for me to be back in that area where we lived for so long and be able to point out almost every fast food restaurant and remember a time when I went there and remember how that was such a big part of my life and remember what I used to order and remember all these things. And I'm just gosh, it was like flashing red lights of all these places that I used to just tear myself apart at. I mean, seriously, not only on the toilet later if I went to Taco Bell and a few other places, but just I let fast food and junk food and all kinds of things that were horrible for my health, alcohol, cigarettes, and all that. I just let it completely control my life. And I don't even know if I realized that was happening at the time. It was just so normal for me to get pulled in by fast food multiple times on the way to work and multiple times on the way home. And then when I got home, I'd be like, oh, I'm hungry. I didn't have anything to eat today. Take me out to dinner. And then we'd probably go to Applebee's or Chili's or somewhere or some bar and grill and just do it all over again. And this was every single day for years and years. And one of the places, so we drove by our old townhouse and on the strip right before our townhouse, there's this strip mall with gas stations and liquor stores and Dairy Queen and, State Farm and all kinds of stuff. And there's a Dairy Queen there. And I remember walking, I would do this probably once a week. I would walk from our townhouse to Dairy Queen. And then I would get 2 blizzards, ice cream mixed with, I got cheesecake. I had them hold the strawberries because I didn't eat fruit. So I'd get 2 huge blizzards, extra cheesecake. I'd eat one of them on the way home, and then I'd put the other one in the freezer and have it later. And I probably did this once a week, but I told myself it was okay because I walked there. And so I probably walked off the calories that I was eating 2 large, huge frappe or blizzards with extra cheesecake, right? That's probably good. No. That's not how it works. First off, you can't out-train a bad diet. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. They're not, you can't do one and make an excuse for one and do the other. Eating healthy is great. Exercising is great, but don't eat shit and then say, I'll just walk on the treadmill for 3 hours later today and work it off. We want to keep them separate, right? Exercising is good, but we don't want to do it just because we had something bad. We want to exercise because we love ourselves, our body. Movement is great, reduce risk of a ton of disease and illness, and just really great for overall health, right? So you can't out-train a bad diet. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. And I thought I could, and that was what everyone always said, well, just go eat a pizza and then go work out for half an hour. And it's fine. Calories in, calories out. It's just simple math. And that's not how optimal health works. So it was just crazy to see all of these places. It was fast food place after fast food place after fast food place after fast food place. And I just felt so heavy seeing all of these places, but also so relieved that those fast food, I don't even want to call them restaurants, really, those fast food death traps, they don't have anything on me anymore. Like, I can drive by, I don't even know where the nearest McDonald's is to my house right now. Like, no clue. I don't even know. Like, where is it? I have no clue. They don't do anything for me anymore. I don't go there anymore. I don't even notice them when I'm driving anymore. And, 5 years ago today, I would know where every single McDonald's is in like a 20-mile radius. Like, I would know where everyone was. I would know when they opened. I would know when breakfast was stopped being served and all this. And now it's like, to go from something that had so much control over my life to now me having control over my life and my lifestyle and my nutrition and not being run by junk food is like a total night and day difference. And I never knew that it was so possible for me to feel like I do now. I never knew that I would overcome this horrible addiction to fast food. I mean, guys, it was like at least on a daily basis, at least 3 trips to fast food, like at different times. Sometimes like one after the other. Sometimes I'd go from like McDonald's and get my favorite thing there, and then I would go to Wendy's, and then I go to Dairy Queen, and then I go to Taco Bell, and then I go to, where else did I go? Those were the main ones. I would pick up all my favorite things at all the places, and then I'd order a pizza, and then I'd bring it all home, and then I would just like smash it all and like hide the evidence and pretend it didn't happen, and then go for like a 5-minute walk and like call it a day. And that was my life. And it seriously ran my life. And for those of you watching that feel like you might be in a similar spot, like overrun by junk food, having unhealthy addictions rule your life, you can overcome this. I know it seems like a lot, and I know it seems like, like a long game, and like it would take, it would be a lot to handle. And while it is a big change, and it is something that does take determination and persistence and, grit and all of those things, it can be done. And, I'll tell you this too, whether you think you can or can't do it, you're right. If you think you can't and you never will, then you probably never will, because you have that mindset. And I had that mindset for so long, and it was the reason that I got to 250 something pounds at my peak, because that was the mindset I had. I was just big boned. I was just always going to be overweight. That's just how my body was. I never knew what it was like to not be addicted to food, because this started when I was like 5 years old, being addicted to junk food and sugar and stuff. And so I never knew anything else. But the thing is that you can't get to where you want to go by doing the same shit that you've always done. Like, you have to do new things. You have to put yourself in situations and environments and have the support that you didn't have before to get to where you want to go. And it is possible. But if you think you can't do it and you don't want to do it, and you know in your heart and mind that you're never going to change because you're happy with where you're at, then you'll stay stuck where you are. That's just how it goes. When you are ready to make the change, and when you are determined to say, look, enough is enough. Like, I'm tired of feeling like shit. I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of having health problems. I'm tired of not being able to sleep. I'm tired of not being able to breathe. I'm tired of not being able to tie my shoes. That was me 5 years ago. I couldn't even tie my shoes without like taking a break, like bending over, and like, it was horrible. So until you're at that point where you have reached like enough is enough, and you have reached that turning point, you're going to keep struggling. So I challenge you to really dig deep and ask yourself, why do you want to make a change? Are you at that point where you're like, I'm ready, like, let's go, let's make a change, let's decide what we want and why we want it, and let's do the things needed to get to where we want to go. Because if I kept going to Taco Bell every single day on my way home from work, I would have never been sitting here talking to you today. Never. I had to do things that I was uncomfortable doing, and I had to get real with what was actually happening. Because for so many years, I was like, oh, this is fine. Oh, I'm just, the overweight girl, and I just always will be. And so that was my excuse to eat whatever I wanted. And so it wasn't until I changed all of those views and perspectives that I had about myself and nutrition. It wasn't until I like called myself out and said, look, what are you doing? You know, getting 4 frappes a day is not healthy for you. You know that you are unhappy and overweight and all of, you know, having health issues and not being your best self because you are being overrun by fake ass shit. So I had to call myself out and I had to get real with what was actually happening before I could, you know, look at it as a whole and be like, okay, this is what's happening. I'm coming, you know, forward with myself and being honest with myself. This is what's happening. This is where I want to go. And so what does that look like in between time? What do I need to do to get from here, you know, 4 frappes a day, multiple fast food trips, horrible mindset? What do I need to do to get from here to where I want to go? And then I started doing it. You have to take action. You can't sit on the couch and wish and want to make a change and never take action, because you will be in the same spot that you are right now if you don't take the action. You got to put in the action steps. So if you are ready to put in the action steps and you want the guidance and the help and the support and the tools and everything needed to make these lifestyle changes sustainable, and so that it's not a fad diet, that it's not a temporary fix, this is a lifestyle change, and this is something that you want for the rest of your life. And look, you're gonna have to do things that you don't want to do at first. Like, I didn't like salad at first, but tough shit. I had to eat salads in order to like salads, in order to lose weight, in order to flood my body with micronutrients, in order to have my body thrive on vibrant food. I had to do that. And so I had to suck it up, so to speak, and, you know, tell myself that I had to do things that were uncomfortable. I had to do things that I didn't want to do. And I also had to stop making excuses for things that were not healthy for me, right? Like, I can't just eat a piece of broccoli and dunk it in nacho cheese and call it healthy, right? I had to get away from the unhealthy stuff and really flood my body and my life and myself with the foods that were healthy for me, instead of sugarcoating literally things that were healthy and pouring a bunch of sugar and oil and salt and meat and cheese on them. So I had to do things that I wasn't used to doing. I had to do things that I wasn't comfortable doing. And that got me to not only an 80-pound weight loss, but a total life transformation. And I own my life now. I run my life. I'm in charge. I have overcome food addiction and cravings and toxic hunger and emotional eating and all of these things. And I have my life back now. And before, fast food, addiction, emotional eating, those things ran my life. Now I do. And if you want that, I'm here to help. This is what I do all day, every day. And I do that in my monthly membership site, NutriBabe Nation. So I want to share with you guys we're doing a special for the holiday. It's your first 6 weeks for only $60 in NutriBabe Nation. And what NutriBabe Nation is a monthly membership site for you guys. It's for the members. Everything I do is for my clients and for my members. And so it's basically built to your needs. So we have courses, we have video tutorials, we have live members only shows, we have discussion forums, we have like anything and everything that you can think of. It's always building, always growing. There's always new content being added. We're always tweaking things to make things better and better. And you get your first 6 weeks in NutriBabe Nation for only $60. Head to NutriBabeNation.com. Get all of the details. There's testimonials there. There's all the info about what's included in the membership site. Testimonials. The coupon code is holidays60 to get your first 6 weeks for $60, and then it's monthly after that for as long as you want to stay with us. And we are doing a holiday challenge starting on Sunday, November 19th. So the first part of the challenge, we're really going to talk about our goals. And this isn't surface level, like fluffy goals, like I want to lose weight goals. Losing weight is great too, but we're going to really dig deeper. We're going to talk about the difference between input goals and outcome goals. We're going to talk about the difference between push goals and pull goals, long-term, short-term. You're going to be set up for success. So once we get through the first part of the challenge, which is the goal setting and goal expectations and all of that, we're going to jump into a 30-day challenge, which will be all of December, and that will be guided. There are printouts, there are videos. It's a live challenge, a live group challenge. So there are videos, live videos, support, and other members that are alongside doing this challenge with you. So if this sounds like something that you want to do, if you do not want to gain 7 to 10 pounds this holiday season and then make a New Year's resolution to lose it like every year I did, if you want to stop that cycle and break it now, then let's do it. I'm ready for you. The doors are open and the coupon code is live. So head to NutriBabeNation.com. Use the coupon code HOLIDAY60, get all the details, all the testimonials. And if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. I'm an open book. I want to make sure that if you join NutriBabe Nation, it's the best decision for you, and I can help you make that decision. So if you have any questions, if you're not sure, if you are wondering something before you pull the trigger and sign up, then please shoot me a message and I'll be happy to take care of that. So I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I got so many people here. Hi Fern, hi Terry. I got a lot of NutriBabes in the house today. Terry said, I'm looking forward to the challenge. Yeah, it's going to be so great. It's going to be a live challenge with support and videos and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be great. So thanks to all of you guys who hung out with me live on Brunch Break. We will resume our regular time next week, Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Central Time here on the Love Chard page. And in the meantime, I will see you in the nation. Girl, bro, get in the nation if you if what I say speaks to you and you are really in a spot where you want to make some changes and want support and guidance and tools and accountability, then get in NutriBabe Nation. NutriBabeNation.com. Coupon code is HOLIDAY60 for your first 6 weeks for only $60. Get in now. Shoot me a message if you have any questions, and I will see you in the nation. Bye, guys.